I'd like to hear questions or comments on any issue. You're not confined to that of energy, but I have a special, although I have a special request for the question to come from Sarah Craig, who is the head of a household who is facing some challenges right now. And Sarah, I understand you are here. Is that correct? And they'll bring you a microphone so that you can. We don't usually do that, but Sarah said she wanted to ask the first question, and so please go ahead. And you can remain in your seat, and we'll just bring you the microphone. Go ahead.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for your service to our country and for the sacrifices that you made.
Thank you.
It's not easy doing what you do, and I thank you for that. It's a privilege to be able to ask this question and to kind of share some concerns that my family and I have. And as I visit with friends about today, it isn't just about us. It's about every single person in this room. Energy is a major thing right now. Fuel, gas prices for our family are causing major financial crunches in the pocketbook. And it's not just us, it's everybody. What are your plans? And I know I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but my questions are, what are your plans if you are the elected president of the United States? What are you going to do? Second is, as a senator right now of this United States, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do tomorrow and next week that help us now? I've heard from the panel about in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that doesn't address what's going on today and helping the American people. Just like you said in your speech, we're hurting, and what can we do today? And then my third is, what assurance do we have? What assurance can you give us today that that will follow through?
Sarah, before you give up the microphone, and would you hand her the microphone, please? Would you give us, for the benefit of everyone, an example of some of the challenges that your family is facing now as a result of the economic challenges that you and families all over Missouri and all over this country are facing?
My husband and I are both self-employed. I have a health and wellness company, and I travel all over Missouri. My husband has an automotive repair business that he does sales and also installation. And we're a specialty shop. And the gas prices, when we see the gas prices pop up at the pump, business shuts down for about 2 weeks. And it's because people are scared. They don't know what the future holds. They don't know what's going to take place. And so they stop with some repairs. They only, handle what they can. My business is in health and wellness and in sales, and it's kind of a luxury thing. And so families buy what they need, not what they want. And so it makes a major, major difference in commission checks and whether or not we're able to even take paychecks from our other company. And I know other families are facing that, not just us, because whether or not we're able to get paid or not depends on whether or not I'm able to put food on the table for my family.
Thank you. And let me say that I asked you to elaborate because I think that families all over America are experiencing very similar challenges, even though they may not be exactly in the same line of work that you are. They're facing the same difficulties. And you want to know what I would do immediately. The first thing that I would do immediately is maybe give you a little break from the gas tax. And that is a proposal of mine that has been much derided by some. As you know, every time you go to the gas station, you pay 18.5 cents a gallon additional tax as you watch the price of a gallon of gasoline go up. I'd kind of like to say, hey, we'll give you a little about 18 and 4/10 of less in your gas tax, just maybe for the summer to help you and your family to get through it. And a lot of this money that is paid in the form of gas taxes goes to wasteful, pork barrel, unnecessary projects. And it's low-income people that drive the furthest, that generally drive older automobiles, which then, of course, consume more gasoline. So, and you know, it's been much derided by The Economist, and then others have said, well, you know, it'll hurt the Highway Trust Fund. Well, maybe we ought to start out, before we ask you to pay more gas taxes, maybe we ought to stop building a bridge to Alaska to an island with 50 people on it that costs $233 million of your tax dollars. So I'd immediately give you a little gas tax relief. The second thing that I would do is that I would shame my colleagues in Congress to stop this wasteful, unnecessary spending spree we're on, which is mortgaging yours and your children's futures, and divert some of that money into much-needed projects and programs that are necessary that would help your husbands and your employment. I also immediately would try to do what I can by that and other measures to restore trust and confidence in government. Did you happen to see yesterday or the day before there was a poll that showed a 13% approval rating of Congress? 13%. My friends, you get down that low, you get down to paid staffers and blood relatives. Because we're all in this together. We're all in this together. And I would say also immediately that maybe we, Republican and Democrat alike, ought to sit down with one another in a bipartisan fashion and start addressing these issues in a concrete and positive fashion rather than the gridlock. Rather than the gridlock which conveys the obvious correct impression to you and your husband and everybody else in America practically that we're putting our party ahead of our country. I'm going to convince the American people I'm going to put the country first.